policies will what? Change from
Há 4 anos atrás, por exemplo, eu estou tentando aplicar inquieta e de
Welcome to the live streaming for the updates and news on Lego Creatives. My name is Tessa Manuelo, and I am the founder and the CEO of Lego Creatives, which is an online platform where we empower Lego professionals from all around the world to think more creatively about the law and to win new customers. And since September is knocking, I wanted to take this opportunity to go live and to share a little bit about the news and exciting updates that are happening within the Lego Creatives ecosystem so you can take advantage of it. And so this is perfect for those of you who have been thinking about learning legal design and doing legal innovation work, or just, connecting with people who are in this space so you can actually get to see what's possible when you use this methodology. So I have prepared for you a couple of slides I would like to share. So it's going to be easier for you to follow me. And as I'm sharing the screen, I would love to invite you to let your network know about this live stream, as they may be interested as well in joining you and in joining us. So let me share the screen and show you a little bit what I have prepared for you today, which is really about giving you the updates about what's happening in terms of legal design courses, podcasts, and community. So what I'll be covering in this live today, I will be covering a little bit about the upcoming course that is starting in 2 weeks from now. That is a Legal Design Pro immersion, where you're going to be learning everything you need to be able to conduct projects using the legal design methodology, frameworks, techniques, and tools. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Lego Creatives podcast that is coming up in the metaverse. I have to say, I'm really excited for this. We have worked really hard with the team to create this completely new experience of podcasting in the metaverse. And last but not least, I'm going to talk a little bit about our wonderful community at Lego Creatives. I see we have Deolinda joining live. Thank you for being there. And we have Vanessa as well watching on the LinkedIn. Thanks so much for being there. And this is an opportunity to invite you to tell us in the chat where in the world you're tuning in from, so you can enjoy as well a little bit of networking as I go through this presentation. So why is it important? Well, because it is proven by research that organizations that are design-led are actually a lot more successful than the ones that are not. And so what do we mean by being design-led? Do we mean like creating good communication pieces, brandings, and logo? No, we're not talking about logos. We're talking about leading an organization by placing the customer at the center of innovation. Meaning, instead of just randomly asking for feedback once in a while, we intentionally put our customers and users at the center of everything we do, so we can better understand what they need, what they expect from the service, and have a systematic approach to improve the customer experience. And so why is it important to actually be design-led in law? Well, because when we build a design-led organization, what we see happening is that we are able to delight our customers. And that means customers are more loyal. And by having customers that are more loyal, you're able to increase your profits, because also you're designing solutions that actually meet the needs of the customer. Also, being design-led means that you're actually able to identify and to invest in the most impactful projects, so you can reduce risk and improve the outcomes. I'm sure you can relate to that. So many projects that we start and barely finish, or if we finish, we realize that actually it was not so impactful. Well, design thinking helps you make the best decisions as to which project to start, which project to continue, and how to navigate the project as well. It's also about reducing cost and gaining competitive advantage, because you're able to focus on what really matters. And you're doing this by avoiding those redundant redundant tasks and processes so you can gain efficiencies. And last but not least, you are able to actually, I just need to put myself there so you can read with me, you can energize your employees, your staff, because you allow them to suggest new ideas, you really empower them to be part of the future of your organization, you empower them to collaborate, to work better together. And this is so important in today's world, to have a staff that is engaged and motivated and that is suggesting ideas and really taking care of the business. And so these are all of the reasons why you may want to be more design-led in your organization, whether you work in a law firm, legal department, public institutions, or in a legal tech company. You really want to make sure you are taking advantage of this wonderful methodology that helps you have this more systematic approach to understanding the needs and wants of your customers, so you can provide the best service and you can differentiate yourself from your competitors that are not yet using this methodology. But I need to warn you a little bit, because this is a very different approach than the traditional approach we are used to see in the legal sector. So when we do legal design, what we do, we challenge ourselves to do things differently, but to do things better. And that means changing the mindset. That means also experimenting new things, getting curious and open to learn from other experts and new ways of doing things. At times it means taking some risk. And I know this is very difficult in such a risk-averse profession. And so this is for you if you feel that you really want to open yourself to a new way of practicing the law that is going to be more centered on the needs of your users and customers. And this is not easy. This is why we actually have courses to help you do this mindset shift, to help you learn the methodology by practicing it. Because reading blogs, books is great, but it's not enough for you to feel confident to actually do this for real in your organization and with your customers. This is why we have created at Legal Creatives a pro immersion program that helps you understand how is the mechanic of legal design, use the techniques and the tools, and practice it. So what do we cover in the pro immersion? Well, we cover everything you need to be able to plan and conduct legal design projects from A to Z, including measuring the impact of your solutions so you can actually show the value of your work. We're going to start with an introduction to legal design, its origin, how it started. You're going to be surprised because it actually started way longer than you expect. I'm going to share with you the theoretical frameworks, also show you some examples of really powerful contracts redesign, privacy redesign, but also new law structures, meaning structures that are really different from the ones we are used to see in the traditional space. We're going to move for the second session of this immersion program into what I call customer proximity, meaning using legal UX research to be able to really uncover those unmet needs on the market. And so this is especially relevant for those of you who would like to launch a new service or a new product or start a new organization. But this is also going to be very relevant for those of you who would like to find a systematic way to improve the experience of the law. So if you work in-house and you would like to reduce the gap between you and the other departments, those techniques are going to be extremely valuable because it's going to allow you to integrate the feedback from your stakeholders and from your customers, so you can really take that feedback into account and do something that is going to be meaningful for you and for them. Session 3, we're going to go into creativity, which is my favorite part, obviously, because this is how I got to discover about legal design, through creative thinking. So we're going to go into a mini challenge for session 3, where you're going to be able to experience creative techniques, creative problem-solving techniques, brainstorming techniques. And I'm going to prompt you to find potentially really innovative and why not disruptive solutions. That's what creativity is allowing us to do, to take a problem and to find a solution that is potentially new and original so you can differentiate yourself on the market. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about the return on investment of legal design, show you some of the best practices that you should implement after the program in your organization. If you work solo, you can also use those techniques to actually get to work on yourself and develop the mindsets and attitudes so you can cultivate the values after the program. This is what I'm going to cover in the Pro Immersion that is coming up. And you're going to be able to get your certification out of this immersion program. Why certification? Well, because in ADES, you have actually learned the skills, because you have practiced the skills. And this is how you can also show to your potential employer or customers that you are actually empowered to do this for real. Because in the certification, we do this for real. It's not a theoretical class. It's a really practical immersion where you are actively learning, practicing in breakout rooms. And as you do so, you get to meet fantastic people from all over the world that are taking the program with you. When you take the certification, you access a legal design kit, which is going to help you actually submit a project in legal design. And this is something new we have implemented, and I'm really excited for this. You also get access to the Business of Legal Design material that is going to be available instantly in the portal. You're going to have access to a Bold Boot Camp that is coming up in the fall. I'm going to talk more about this at the end of this presentation. And you have access to our events and summits as VIP. This is starting in 2 weeks. That means September 14, we're going to meet together on Zoom with other professionals from all around the world to go through all of the steps of the methodology and help you build your first legal design case. I'm so excited for this, obviously, and I can't wait to meet you there. So I really hope to see you there. Second, I'm going to talk now about the podcast. The podcast, which has already, I already have the podcast, the Legal Creatives podcast, which has been running for about 2 years, 3 years now. But now I'm even more excited about reviving the podcast because of the metaverse. I see Anne-Geneviève says she's very excited to dive into legal design immersion soon. I'm so happy you're part of this, Anne-Geneviève. Thank you so much for sharing and for being a part of this. So let me go into the podcast. So in the podcast, which I'm going to revive starting tomorrow, September 1st, I'm going to give you some tips as to legal design basics. So if you're completely new to legal design and you're not sure exactly what it is, how it works, how relevant it can be, you're going to be able to learn a lot by listening to the podcast. In fact, there's already a lot of material you can access on the Legal Creatives podcast. And some of the episodes have been really successful. And I guess because it's almost like a class, it's almost like a mini class. So it's great for those of you who are new, and it's also great for those of you who already learned legal design because you can unlock new insights. And it's also a great thing to just refresh your mind as to what's possible with the methodology. Second, we're going to have guest experts that are going to be there and share a little bit about their take on legal design and innovation. So you're going to be able to learn from these guest experts. I'm really excited about this. And of course, I'm going to bring community members. We have an amazing community at Legal Creatives, and we're going to share some of the transformative stories and testimonials from the experience of the course. But what's so exciting about the podcast season that is about to start is that we're going to host it in our new HQ in the metaverse. We have a metaverse space, which you're going to see in just a moment, where we're going to bring the guest to interview them, and we're going to bring an audience. This means you're going to be able to be there with me as the host and with the guest to be able to watch the interview, to interact with the guest, to ask you questions, and to have an amazing networking experience in the metaverse. This is the HQ we have in our metaverse. If you don't know what's the metaverse, as you can see from the picture, it's this 3D kind of experience where you are immersed online in a space that looks like this. So this is the space we got for our Legal Creatives HQ. And this is the space we have designed for the podcast. This means we're going to have an experience almost like real life experience, meaning you're going to be there for the event because the podcast is going to be a series of events where you're going to be able to interact with people that are there and with the guests and with me. So really excited about that. We've already hosted meetups in the metaverse, and I have to say it was really successful. This is a snippet of the mini meetup we just organized for a mini workshop we did that is called Revamping Contracts with Visuals. If you missed the workshop and you're interested, you can get instant access on the Lego Creatives platform. And this is just to show you the new way we want us to interact as community members. We understand that Zoom is easy and Zoom is great, but meeting in the metaverse is just bringing interactions to a whole new level. First, you're actually less tired in the metaverse and on Zoom, so you don't have this Zoom fatigue, as we call. And second, you really have an amazing experience where you can move around in the space and interact with people and with objects. So if you are not yet subscribed to the Lego Creatives podcast, I highly recommend you do that, because we're going to start releasing some episodes and also organizing those events for you to be able to attend the podcast interviews. And that's what I want to talk now, the community and the hub that we have created, where you're going to be able to interact with other professionals from all around the world, as well as get your ticket to attend the podcast interviews. The community is truly the best thing at Lego Creatives. That's what people say. Every single time they say, what is the one thing you like the most? It's the community. Because it's so much easier to do this together than to do this alone. I've been doing this alone for a long time. In fact, I started back in 2013. At the time, I knew nobody that was interested in legal design. In fact, I did not even know legal design was a thing. At the time, it was actually getting started in Stanford University, but it was not famous. It was not popular. It was not mainstream. And it is still not. It is still not easy, but it is easier when we are together. And this is why we are so excited that the community is growing every single day. We have about 5,000 subscribers on our newsletter. We have in total, with all social media, 10,000 people that are following us. And we got to certify 150 professionals through our Pro Immersion. And I'm not even counting the badges that we offer inside our online academy. And so it's so great to see so much more interest for legal design and innovation, because this really works. It works when you practice it, when you use it for real. And that's what I always empower the community to do. To not just read and do nothing, but to use the material, to experiment, to put the techniques to use for your own organization, department, with your customers. And if you feel not safe to do that for real, this is why we have the programs, to have you practice. The community is hosted in this community space. It's a community hub where you can get to interact and meet with amazing professionals from all around the world. You can get to learn resource. You can get to access the showcase of the previous projects that were done by community members. And this is such a beautiful place to be able to interact with others and to learn outside of the social media craziness where we receive so many notifications and ads. This is just a place where you can just focus and get to meet amazing people that have the same interest as you and are on the same journey as you, and may have also the same challenges as you, but you can help each other. In fact, what's great is whenever someone is posting a question, and I often see people already reply before I even get a chance to reply. And this is just so amazing because everyone is sharing different perspectives, sharing different ideas, different experiences. And this is very rare in the legal sector, hence super valuable. I see Deolinda is going to join us for the immersion program in September. I'm so excited. Thank you for trusting us and for trusting me and trusting yourself to do it. Why is it important? Because, well, the best way to predict the future is to actually create it. And this is Peter Drucker who said it. And I'm such a fan of it because if you create it, you start to take ownership for your life, for your career, for your professional path. And to create it means trying new things, things you may never have done before, means also taking some risk, which means having some courage and resilience, and also being able to take some baby steps. You don't need to make radical changes right away, but you can experiment taking baby steps. And this is why it's so great to be able to do this together in the community. Next, I have a surprise. I do have a surprise. In fact, I have many surprises I've already shared, but I do have one last surprise, that in the fall, I'm going to organize a bold bootcamp on the business of legal design. What does that mean? Well, we understand that working in legal design means you can either work in-house and influence your organization to adopt the legal design mindsets, methodologies, tools, and techniques. But you could also work solo, build your own legal design practice, or maybe in your law firm, start to implement the legal design philosophy to work with clients. And I understand that there are a lot of technical aspects that are more related to business, maybe even marketing and communication, that we don't cover in the professional immersion. The professional immersion is really geared for you to learn about the mechanics of legal design, but not necessarily to promote it or to communicate on it. And this is why I'm going to host a bootcamp in the fall, so you can get to work on your business, on growing your practice, and this is going to be for all certified professionals. So that means if you would like to learn legal design and start growing your practice in this field, join us for the upcoming immersion that is starting on September 14. You're going to have 4 live sessions online in Zoom. We're not going to be in the metaverse, or at least not yet, because for now, I understand the metaverse is so new for everybody. So we're going to use Zoom, and you're going to have the opportunity to meet amazing professionals from all around the world as you go through the activities, role plays, simulations, and get also some incredible opportunities to network, make new contacts from all around the world. Possibly you will meet someone from your jurisdiction, but certainly you're going to meet people from other continents, because we always have people from the Americas, Europe, Africa, Asia. And this is such a beautiful place for you to build a network and to build a supportive network, because everyone who's taking part in this is here to learn and to share. And this is so valuable and so unique. And I'm so proud we've been able to achieve this with Legal Creatives. So make sure to visit legalcreatives.com/get certified to be able to take part in the professional immersion, and possibly also to get your certification if this is important to you. I always say having a certification is great, but some of you may just want to learn the methodology without needing to have a certification badge. In this case, you can just register for the Pro Immersion without the certification and get access to all of the material and the course, obviously. I see GP says, highly recommend the course. Thank you so much, GP. It was great to see you. I believe you were there at the last immersion, was it? And GP is doing great things at the intersection of the Netherlands and Argentina with the methodology. I see Anne-Geneviève is talking about founding your own niche to serve the clients. Absolutely. You don't want necessarily to serve everybody. You want to serve the right client for you. And everyone is going to seek for the right client, which means there's space for everyone in the legal design field. Deolinda is hoping to be there in the certification in September. This is so great. Vanessa, thank you for recommending the program. Anne-Geneviève is excited to be a part of this. I see we have 2 people from South Africa, because Lemo is watching as well live. We have Said from Germany. So nice to see you. We have many Germans who took the programs. Vanessa says, legal design fan. Thank you so much. Well, this is it for today. I wanted to just pop in on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I believe we're also on Twitter today, just to give you the updates. So make sure to subscribe to the Legal Creatives podcast and to join us inside the community so you can attend the podcast events and get to enjoy the networking opportunities that you will have there. And if you would like to start learning and diving deep into legal design, join us for the Legal Design Pro Immersion that is coming up starting on September 14. I can't wait to see you there. And until then, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions. It's always a pleasure to help. Thanks to all of the live attendees. Thanks also to all of the replay viewers. I appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to supporting you on this journey to think more creatively about the law and to win new customers. Thanks so much for watching the live, and as always, stay creative. Oh, and before I leave, I want to show you a video. Let's finish with this little teaser of some of the feedback. and what you're going to see and hear on the podcast.
Enrolling in the academy and starting the courses has had an immediate impact in my professional course, and this is the first time I actually experienced this, because there's always a gap between studying and actually working on something, but this is the first time that there's no such gap.
So what I really liked about the Ultimate Challenge, it was like I had the chance to apply the theory in practice from the last 2 years. I've read a lot on legal design. I was somehow attending events and networking, connecting, but all my experience was merely theory, and in attendance. But I really need to, let's say, to put my hands on it, which is probably the scariest bit, right? You need to get your hands dirty, let's say. You need to work on your first prototype and trying to funnel down and digest and deliver all the principles and topics you've come across into something practical, real.
Been a great experience being part of the community. Yeah, it's a great network to be part of, and it allows not just to get to know a lot of people around the world doing the same and loving the same things that we do about legal design, but also all the tools that we can use on the platform.
Well, that was a little bit of the snippet of the feedback we get at Legal Creatives. Thanks so much for being there, for being live, for being part of this community, for being interested in this amazing methodology, and for creating what we call design-led organizations in the legal field to have a bigger impact. Thank you once again for being a part of this today. I appreciate you, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you very soon.